heard a lot of interesting presentations yesterday. Yes? Who was here yesterday? Oh, most of you. Very good. And how many entrepreneurs we have here who are already entrepreneurs? We have some. Investors? Yeah, okay. And entrepreneurs? I'm currently studying psychology. First talk we had with Karin was, she was asking me actually to talk about psychology and entrepreneurship. But since you heard a lot about social psychology and neuropsychology yesterday already, first presentations, I decided to do something different. And I'm not going to speak now. We are going to carry out a small experiment. It's a competition. So I need some of you to come here and to participate, and some of you to come and to observe and estimate the teams. We are going to establish 3 teams. So who are the bravest entrepreneurs who think they are going to do whatever it takes to build their company?
No one. Oh my God. We have to go home now.
Okay. Who are almost brave? One,
yeah.
Come here.
First brave one. Yoo-hoo! We need more brave ones.
Yes, we need 2 more brave ones. The leaders who feel
just
you are a very good
stand
leader.
up and come here.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nobody?
Nobody?
Okay, very good, the second one. How many you need?
1 more.
One
we have
more.
1. Very good. So please introduce yourself, who you are, what's your name, and what are you doing currently?
Yeah, let's start from here.
My name is Darius. I'm myself Lithuanian, ended up in Finnish Estonian event. And currently I'm working on a couple of side projects with my friends, and we are sort of thinking of possibly expanding someday or incorporating ourselves.
Hi, I'm Liipa Lang, and currently I'm not employed with anybody, but I'm thinking about the idea to develop one device, which would be a washing device for dog paws usable at home. So that may sound kind of crazy at the first moment, but the more you think about it, the more you would like it.
Wow. My name is Paula and I'm from Helsinki. I'm planning to start a company has to do with well-being in working places. We're going to sell happiness to organizations.
Okay, good.
Okay, we're an international team. I didn't expect that. So our quests are very brave. And now I need 6 jury members, preferably investors, but also maybe experienced entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
6. 1.
Heidi. I can be 1.
You can be 1, yes.
Yeah. 2, so...
3 more.
3 more.
Tarvo. And Ivar. Come here. And 1 more.
1 more. 1 more is necessary, yeah? Oh, there is coming.
Okay, good. So, teams. Team 1 is here. Team 2 here. Team 3 here. And jury members, please pick 1 team and be quite far of them so you can't hear what we are speaking. So some opposite direction.
Yeah, go there.
Yeah, and please, my assistant, give to jury members the instructions. Teams are going to get instructions as well pretty soon. Can I get this one?
Yes. So the jury has to stick together.
Yeah, 2 together.
Okay.
2 jury members per team.
2 jury members per team, okay.
Yeah, we have 2 here, we have 2 here. And no. The team is team 1, team 2, team 3. Sina oled žürii.
We need 2 jury members here, Heidi and Indrek. Come here.
We have to here and
Ivan, please come here.
no,
We are with her.
okay. So and now teams need 3 more members. So people, if you like this guy, this lady, or this lady, please help them.
Yeah. 3 more members, yeah?
You can ask also your accountants or people you met yesterday, have a drink with to come.
Okay. And the jury members have instruction, and they have to act according to instructions.
Yes.
Okay.
And they have to be far from their team, not close to their team. So move far from your team.
Oh, we have to move
Yeah.
far from our team. No, don't show.
Team leaders,
Don't show.
just go and pick members. You still don't know what's the task, but guess who might be the good members? Team leaders. Team leaders.
Yo, so the first task of entrepreneur, collect a team, yeah? Involve 3 other members.
3 other members, yes.
You can promise whatever. Ühesõnaga, me peame vist võimalikult kaugele minema oma tiimist. Me oleme sinuga, jury, ja me oleme nende jury. Lähme siis
So,
kuskile
do
siia.
we have all, we have team 1, okay, you have 4 members, you have
Ma
4
arvan,
members, you have 4 members. Perfect. And now I am going to give an instruction. Rest of you observe the teams, try to guess what they have to do, how they communicate, and what you like about this teamwork. It's, I'm sorry, it's, the instruction is in Estonia because I assumed instruction, but you can help each other to understand what you're going to do. You can, yeah, you can read it separately, so you need, how many? It's, yeah. And now you have 12 minutes to complete the mission. Karin and Marika, please go and check how many pictures and how many points teams got. So, for the rest of you, what was the instruction and what was told to the teams? It's pretty crazy, yes? Hannes, did you expect you are going to do what?
Did I expect that I going to do?
Stand on your head.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but today in the morning when you came
No.
here.
No.
How did you feel?
I feel good because it gives energy, you know, the physical movement.
Okay, what about Indrek?
I was a bit confused at first when the first lady approached me and asked me to come along and do some stupid things.
Why didn't you say no?
I went along with the game in a bit time, I believe.
Okay.
It was fun.
Ivar, what was the last time you stand on here?
10 years ago, 25 years ago, I guess.
So you will do everything for your portfolio companies, I guess.
Absolutely.
Super. And now teams. What were your emotions when you read the instruction and had to figure how to do it? What was your first thought and how did you feel?
Like, how did I feel after the first instructions?
Yeah.
Well, I felt curious and excited and ready to go to action.
That's very good.
The first emotion, I had to translate this, which I didn't understand myself at first. So it was confused, yes. But later, we had a great team and a great leader, and I think it was great.
What about you? You were very active to engage people.
I think I'm always very goal-oriented, and I have had the goal to engage as many people as possible.
Good. The audience, did the teams follow these instructions? You didn't know, but how it seemed, you had to observe. You were consumers. Why didn't you join the team first place? Were you confused? Didn't know what to expect? Okay, thank you, teams. And soon we will find out who is the winner. But what was it about? If you listen a lot of these speeches and you read the books about startups and you follow the startups of your friends, you think you know what's it about, but you don't know before you make the first steps. You don't know before you start. You don't know how it feels to convince someone to do something completely stupid. You don't know how you feel about yourself after that. So you have emotions. You have some physical of body sensations. You might be afraid, you might be excited, you might be feel well or feel bad about that. You also have a lot of different kind of thoughts. How am I going to do that? Does it make sense? What I'm getting into, what other people are getting into because of me, and if we fail, what happens? So you might be shamed immediately or later. You might be embarrassed or embarrass other people, or they might be confused and embarrassed. And you might feel some cognitive dissonance, which means you have some values, your people around you have some values, and you have to sometimes to act against these values, your own ones or other people's ones. You don't know how it goes. Before you start, before you have done something and seen some results, and first, most important, know something about yourself. But knowing about something about yourself is not figuring it out just top of your head. You have to feel. You have to try and see how you feel. For example, I'm active in IT business for 19 years. I started as a computer tutor for adults in very early 90s. there was no internet these days. We started first internet services on a small island in Estonia, Hiiumaa, and I had to convince a lot of people to use internet, to use email, to build their first websites. It was very funny. Today it's very funny to think you had to convince someone to use email or to use internet. But back then, smart businessman who had money to use internet said, I'm never going to need internet ever. And after 2 years, I told them what I am saying now. I had to teach Estonian Prime Minister and members of Estonian Cabinet of Ministers to use e-government system and to trust it. I had to convince my project team members to go for completely mission impossible projects with tough deadlines, with almost no budget, and with people you haven't worked with before. And if I continued that, building a lot of teams, helping other people to build teams, I still didn't know who I am. I wasn't the entrepreneur, I wasn't exactly the manager, I wasn't the technician, and I didn't want to become an entrepreneur because I didn't have much business ideas. When I was 40, I discovered what I do the best. It's building the teams, or help other people to build the teams. And I discovered it quite late because all these different areas were shaped differently, labeled differently. My own position was labeled differently, but when I gave a thought what I'm doing every time I enter to a new company, it was the same. I'm building the team. Building the team might sound nice, but very often it is letting a lot of people go first or go later. And I feel good about letting people go. I have done it a lot. I know how to do it. Sometimes it's not so successful, but I even enjoy that part. So I really enjoy building teams. And what's different at startup? A lot of you maybe haven't worked for startup. You have worked for normal companies. What's so different about that? Why Heidi and Artur and other people telling you team, 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 management, management, management? How to connect this with what you do or what you know today? First of all, it's kind of unbalanced. If you work for a normal company, you already have some clients, you already have some income, you know what's going to happen, you can predict what's going to happen. Also, you have people you just pay money and they do for you what's asked to do. But in startup, you don't have anything at first. You don't have money, you maybe have time, and you have to convince people to join you. You have to be better than everybody else on this market. So basically, you have to build something from nothing. And to succeed and to be better than others in that means you have to be exceptional in some way. Maybe you have very good knowledge of that market or that business segment and some years of experience, and you can see things differently and start your own business. That's what Airplay guys did, that's what Market IT did, and several other currently successful companies, startups in Estonia, how they started their business. Zero turnaround, the same thing. They were around in this sector and this business for many years, just being employed, doing their everyday jobs. They built something for themselves as tools, and later they started a company, and other people started to use that. You might have some exceptional performers. For example, Skype founding engineers. They all are absolutely amazing programmers, software engineers. And first of all, they can do the same work, integrate all this complexity you need in your head 10 times or maybe 20 times or 100 times faster and better than other people do. So you have some advantage here, but you have to have also a business idea, of course. And you need exceptional commitment. You can't argue with people about, I'm going to leave today at 5 or 6. They have to want to stay and help you. Not just to ask, but they have to want to stay. And you race against the time, and money burns. Heidi already told that. Also, you yourself might doubt in yourself and lose the faith. And there are constant changes. Because you start with something, and very often you have to carry out several pivots before you find your perfect business plan and business idea, or your excellent team or something else, or your right market. Your job as a leader, most important it is to work constantly with business model, of course, but about HR, it's engaging people and keeping up bonfires, something exciting, something people getting good feelings every day, or experience and excitement and inspiration every day. Something should keep them motivated every day. How to do that? First, there might be some bonfires. Technological people are very excited about exceptional technologies, building something great, building something nobody has done before, finding out somebody did that, and sharing this feeling and this information about somebody did something amazing. Let's talk about Steve Jobs, or let's talk about Edisi and Tõnu Runnel, and they are excited about Tõnu, for example. I am always excited when Tõnu tells he did something interesting. Or Ragnar Sass, who started Garage 48. It was inspirational for all of us. You have to keep up energy and commitment of leaders. It might be about personal relations and just supporting each other as a person. And sometimes also there is a profit perspective, but this is something that comes and goes, because there is a lot of uncertainty and you can't be sure about that. So you can't tell people, join my company because we are going to be rich. You don't know, and on some days or many months or even years, it might seem unrealistic to people, and they might not believe you. But they have to have something else to believe in these days. So you can't just go for satisfaction like normal companies do. You have to get loyalty, and loyalty is about emotions. You have to ask people how you feel. What were your thoughts? Thoughts second, how you feel first. And how to make it happen? First of all, dealing with key people, yourself, other founders, is most important. If you feel good, if your co-founders feel good, if your team leaders feel good, other people will feel too. You have to find people who are exceptional. It's not okay to settle for just okay, especially if it's about core competence, because it gives you so much advantage. And if you're not exceptional yourself, or you can't attract these people, maybe you should consider doing something else, or just starting very small and going big when you have already experience of several companies. It's very important to have that experience, what is exceptional. And maybe you should work for some people who are exceptional first, because it's not something you can measure. It's coming with experience in a lot of fields. Is it exceptional or not? A lot of people have very nice CVs, but it doesn't mean they are exceptional. And as I already told, recruitment is something you can't delegate to anybody else. People have to commit to someone. They have to commit to some leaders in your company, to be loyal, to be motivated, to be excited. So we had 3 leaders here at first. Think people who joined them. Why did you join this person? Why did you believe he can lead the team? Why did you believe he can complete this task? You even didn't know what the task is. And very often in startup, you think you know what task is, but you find out later you don't know, or it's going to change. Are you going to stick to this person even if it's changing? Managing expectations and relations. I worked for Ambient Sound Investments, the startup vehicle of Estonian Skype founding engineers. And they made several investments in Estonia, including this dogs and cats company Heidi told you about. And I consulted some of these teams, also on recruitment and hiring. They made very often a mistake. They thought to attract the candidates, it's good to mention Ambient Sound Investments made the investment, they know their company, they believe in this company, and also many people who joined the companies first, especially in first years they started the business, thought now they are going to work with Ahti Heinland, having coffee with Jaan Tallinn, and then having very fancy discussions about different architectural details with other people like Ahti or Priit or Jaan or Toivo. It's not the case. These guys never promised they are going to do that. They are not even managing directly these companies. They have investment managers for that. Also, they never promised they know it's going to be successful. And if a manager promised you team member who joined the team, there is a possibility you work with Jaan Tallinn. There is a possibility you drink coffee with Toivo Annus. There is a possibility, or I know we are going to be successful because Asi knows we are going to be successful. This is false expectations you give to people. It might happen, but it's not the most important thing, and you shouldn't join the company because of that. You should have something else to join the company for. To have very clear about your relations, where you stand, what I promised, can I deliver? If I can't deliver, I tell you. If it's very important to you, I can't do that for you anymore. I can't pay salary you anymore. I have to deduct your salary. No, don't hide that, because hiding something makes it only worse. And you can't promise a lot of things normal companies do. You can't promise safe job. You can't promise some bodybuilding club, member cards. That's not a good thing to do. You don't have to compete with normal companies. You're completely different. Interaction versus a lot of time for planning. As I already told you, don't know stuff. You have to start moving and then you see, very often. So it's very important not to plan with your team in closed doors. It's important to leave a building, to talk to your customers, to talk to your investors, to talk to people who might join you and see what they feel, what are their thoughts. You have to interact. And you have to be able to say no. You can't do everything. You have to distinguish which is essential, what you can't not do, what you can't not delegate because you have so little time and so little energy. You can do only most important things. If you are a person who can't say no, then first go and learn how to say no and then start your company. Shortly, be honest about who you are, why you want what you want, and when you seem like a person who knows what he does, you have some integrity, people believe in you, people do what you tell them to do, even stand on their head, or join stupid exercises you never thought this morning you're going to do. And it makes also you attractive, because if you are confident, you are attractive. Hannes told me yesterday when I asked what other speakers didn't speak about and what other questions participants have. So he told me a lot of you have questions, how I convince people to join me. think why you do it. Are you confident about yourself? If you are, it's much easier for other people to decide to join you. Don't be afraid to fail. You will. Definitely, you will. So starting on your head is very good exercise. You will fail some first times, and maybe you get better later. And quality should be built inside of team. It doesn't make sense to apply ISO or to hire consultants to evaluate your team constantly and give you advice, or to improve your team constantly. If the quality is not there inside of your team, if it's not solid, if your team members doesn't support each other, if you don't have exceptional members, here I maybe contradict investors' speeches. They all told you how they are going to help you and how they are going to help you to improve your team and maybe replace yourself. If something is totally wrong, they can't fix it. They can't fix it. They maybe can help you a bit, but they can't fix it. And replacing a CEO is like a major deal, because it's not just about your leaving and doing something else. It's about wrapping all this, or breaking all these relations you built with people, all this confidence, all these commitments, and the loyalty. And also hiring a CEO is very tricky, because many senior people who have some experience are good managers, but they didn't found this company. They didn't have this crazy idea. If they are just hired to be a CEO, they don't have the same faith in your idea and the product, and it's hardly a case the CEO is going to be the person who really believes in this product and going to build the team same way. It's usually more about just saving the investment and selling it for some money to somewhere, but mostly it's not about making the company better. It's my personal experience. Other people might have different experience, but that's my experience. And don't expect to know everything. You just have to know the direction, some information, and just go. You have to correct your thoughts and your deeds anyway on this way, because you get a lot of additional information. You get wiser, you learn. All the teams is going to learn. So you have to have this braveness to start. You have to try. You might have to accept failing, but just keep going. And you have to have fun. Because if people don't have fun, what happens to them? They get bored. What else? They kill themselves. With how? Work. They might get depressed, and if you get depressed, your brain doesn't work anymore normally, because you don't get all these chemicals you need to have energy, to motivate yourself, and so on. So it's very important to have fun also. If you feel like a crap and you don't have fun for a long time already, and you'll start to lose your faith, when just stop and think, is it worth? Do I have to carry on just because I invested already so much time? Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes you have to leave it, just close it, and go and do something else what you enjoy. That's it.
Okay, we don't have a lot of time. That's why I take one question, and Riina will be here also lunchtime.
Yeah.
Or okay, then you can ask privately from her. But there is the first hand.
Yeah, Valter Liivent of Estonia, Helsinki. So we have the joint question. I have a part A, and you will continue. So thank you for the presentation, Riina. And there's the be honest, very great words. So Heidi Kakko showed us about what kind of training you have to take to be like the startup company. I like to add concerning like the communication, not communication skills, but communication a little bit wider. And be honest is the one part. Is the communication important for the startup companies, and should we like add to the list for the trainings?
Communication, not skills.
No, overall communication, because it's the...
Yes, it is, because as I already told you, you have to get people to do a lot of stuff. Your investors, your co-workers, your clients, and how you do that without communication, you can't do that. Being honest and being confident about self is something, it's part of communication. I see that it is that way. But it's also very important to learn to make contacts. And I don't know how many of you know the story about the experiment, what was carried out with good managers and bad managers, or good leaders and bad leaders. There were two persons picked up, or several persons actually picked up, who were evaluated before the experiment as good leaders or bad leaders, good business people, bad business people. And they both had a task to go to a meeting with someone they don't know, to a restaurant. And they went there, but this guy wasn't there. But on next table there was another guy reading a magazine. This person usually reads. Good leaders waited a bit. They had a feeling maybe this guy is not going to show up, and started a conversation with a person who was there. And it turned out it's a very useful person for them. Bad leaders just left. They didn't start the conversation. So it's not just about if you want something to achieve, but also about the networking, the chances you get, the people you meet accidentally, and which might take you further.
Thank you. And part B.
Thank you. Charlotte from Finland. Actually, I'm a little bit confused now, because you say, I understand why you say that if you hire a CEO, of course if he or she might not be as passionate as you are, but then Arturi says that you should know when is the time to change the CEO. So I'm confused.
I actually wanted to say, maybe I didn't express myself correctly, I wanted to say I don't believe in changing CEOs. If all investors say first, the team is what they invest in. If founders leave, what did they invest in? Basically, they start from scratch to build it up again. So there is maybe the label, maybe the trademark, maybe some product done, but if you change the CEO, I tried to do, or helped it to do by myself a few times, and I think I never succeeded. It's about the commitment and all this initial drive this person have. Maybe if you have a person who have leaded several startups before, and it's very experienced and 50, but still very passionate, and communicates very well with the team, and this idea is very important for them. Maybe it's about cancer drugs, and he had the cancer, or his mother had the cancer, and it's personally very important to him. But usually you are not so lucky.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Riina. As I told, lunchtime you can approach her and ask more questions. Thank you. Also present from our side, thanks.